Thor issue 15 finds the God of Thunder shocked to learn that with the end of the war with Malekith, he is to be made the new All-Father of Asgard, something that scares him more than Malekith ever could. Odin says that he does indeed mean for his son to become All-Father, since he has earned it, and today begins the new age of Thor. Panicking, Thor teleports away as Freya finds Jane, whose hand is covered in the strange bracer that the Warhammer turned into, making itself part of her now. Old All-Father Thor meets with Odin, telling him not to take his son's rejection too hard, but Odin wants to know who the hell the All-Father Thor and young Thor are exactly. On Midgard, Sif, with the help of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, arrest Queen Cinder, telling her that she will answer for her part in the war. Cinder says that her crimes during the war are just the beginning, as Freya learns that Loki is alive, having cut himself free from Laufey's stomach. Balder says that Loki saved them all when he killed the casket of ancient Winter's powered Laufey. Loki meanwhile takes his place on the throne of Jotunheim, with his new frost giant underlings bowing before him. On Niflheim, the dead Malekith arrives at the shore of corpses. There he is met by Hela and others, who have new plans for the Dark Elf. Malekith tells Karnilla and Hela that it will take more than being torn up by dogs for him to bow down before them. The women know that death isn't enough for Malekith, so he won't be going to the Hall of Nastrond. The dogs that killed him are there as well, having died as well after eating the magically poisoned elf. Malekith thinks that their plan is to have him being eaten over and over again in hell, but Hela says that dogs aren't hungry for his poisoned magical corpse. But when they remade him, they found a small part of his soul he buried away. Malekith is shocked to learn that they remade him as a young innocent Malekith as well, his true self. Karnilla says that he's why Malekith fights, and Hela says that if they want to end the war, their answer is clear. They will have the dogs kill the boy. In the ruins of Asgard, Thor ponders becoming All-Father, talking with his newly returned hammer, telling it he was lost without it. He knows that after all these years, worthiness is a fragile thing, and so is the mighty Thor. He hopes that never changes, however, and the day he stops struggling is the day he loses his storm and the day Gore is proven right. He doesn't know what the hammer is anymore, and he can feel a small piece of the god Tempest inside, but it's no mere chunk of enchanted Uru. It is alive, and they are bound by blood, meaning now they must decide who they are meant to be. The other Thors arrive, saying that he is meant to be Thor, king of Asgard and the greatest All-Father ever, but also the worst, but he will have to figure that out on his own. Young Thor doesn't want to become either of the other Thors, instead wanting to just to fight and drink and have many wenches. Old Thor begins to argue with his younger self as Thor tells them it's not about either of them, it's about him, and he says that he will never abandon the realm, yet he doesn't want to turn his back on Asgard either. But if he does take this path, then there is one thing he needs. Odin arrives, saying he knows what his son needs, and he grabs him, and he says that Odin is the way and the wrath and the wonder, and Odin is Asgard. He hugs the three surprised Thors, saying that he is so proud of his son. As Loki wonders what to do next, and Jane becomes the new Valkyrie, Thor says that if he becomes king, he can't do it alone, and together with his family they will rebuild Asgard into something new. Odin tries to guide his son, but Freya tells him to let Thor make his own way as king. Thor says that only when the changes and rebuilding are done can people call him All-Father, letting the people make up their own minds once they bring the gods home. Malekith meanwhile has had his eyes forcibly sewn open so he can watch the war dogs be sent to attack his younger self. Hela says that it was a great idea to have the elf forced to look upon his greatest horror for eternity. His greatest horror isn't what everyone thinks, and it plays out through a portal where the dogs dive through and begin playing with the young Malekith, frolicking in a green field with the puppies. Thor issue 15 concluded the War of the Realms event by setting up the next big adventure for the God of Thunder, that being King of Asgard. This whole story has been one big payoff for Jason Aaron's multi-year storyline, and now we enter not just the final issue of this Thor run, which will be Thor issue 16, but also the final chapter of that story with the new King Thor book that's coming out in its place. I've loved everything about this issue and what it had to offer, with Thor having to really consider being a king and finding the will to do that and be the best All-Father he can be, as well as what changes he will inspire in the people and the changes he will bring to Asgard. I'm very excited for the final chapter in Aaron's stellar run where he leaves off the character he helped define. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.